What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of SideTracked. I'm Leah, and this is Louie, and we have a pretty stacked episode today.
Not going to introduce our friend?
I'm getting there. Calm down. Not only do we have Mr. Jay Evans talking about Brockhampton with us, but we also have the band Biscuits and Gravy that's going to perform for us later. But
it's going to be a stark juxtaposition there, moving from the rap album into the country performance. But I think we'll manage. I think we'll make it through.
It's going to be great. So without further ado, Satauration II. Or not. Yeah.
Jay, do you want to start us off?
Well, Satauration II, the newest album by South Central Collective boy band, rap group, Brockhampton. They kind of burst on the scene earlier this year with Satauration I that came out in June. Last year, they had another project, All American Trash, which was good. But I think Saturation in June really kind of brought them onto the mainstream, and this is kind of keeping them there. It's kind of been their establishment. And yeah, it's a really fantastic hip-hop album by a really fantastic group.
All right. I got to say, I was actually like surprised because I started seeing things like I saw this image, the cover, put onto like the Beach Boys record where they're in front of the band, and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, all right, I got it. This is becoming culturally relevant enough that I need to sit down and listen to it. And I was not disappointed. Let me tell you, this record is phenomenal. Leah, what did you think?
Yeah, so this is not my usual genre to play in, but I do like it a lot. I like this album. You and Brad have been riding me for a while to listen to it. Mostly Brad. You guys have been telling me to listen to it for a while, so I finally did, and I like it. This is the first of their stuff that I've listened to, so I'm excited to get into their other stuff, what's All American Trash and the first Saturation.
And then you got to get into the solo projects.
There's
and
so much and there's so many people to learn about. Like,
right.
How many people is it? Like, there's like 13 people or something?
There's 7 vocalists.
Oh, my bad. Too many.
Mainly.
Yeah,
mainly.
7 vocalists. Some other people, there's a production duo, Q3, right? Then they have all their media people that they consider part of the group.
It's a real true media collective because you have not only the artists, but you have the producers in the back. You have the directors in the back that do their videos, and they're graphic designers, and they're all part of Brockhampton. They're not just guys that help these guys out. I mean, it is a true media collective.
And speaking of which, those music videos,
they're fantastic.
They are all fantastic.
Yes.
I actually sat down with our director, Kylie, last night and watched all of them. And tried to piece together the story that apparently they have. I've read so many theories. Have you gotten into those?
I haven't. Okay,
so the prevailing theory that Kevin Abstract kind of, I think his tweet was, "You're pretty close," was that Roberto is in love with Helmet Guy, and Helmet Guy was sleeping with Summer, so Roberto murdered Summer, and then that led into their downward spiral into this like anarchy, and that's why
that actually goes back to Kevin Abstract's solo stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
With the Empty video.
Yep. That is the prologue. Yep. So let's talk about some of the actual music. Now that we've got into the media and some of the people, what are some of your favorite tracks on this thing?
Well, one thing I do want to talk about the group a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
I really think these guys, not to say that they are the next Wu-Tang, but they are really the millennial Wu-Tang in a few senses. One, it's chemistry. It's one thing that you see a lot in rap groups and rap duos, even in modern day, is there's a guy that kind of ascends above everybody else in the group. You see it with Migos and Quavo. You see it with Ray Sremmurd and Sway Lee. You even really see it on I'm losing the word, but like What a Time to Be Alive, Drake and Future. Future kind of took that album over. Watch the Throne with Kanye West and Jay-Z. Kanye kind of took that album over. So when you get a lot of artists together, especially established artists, it's really difficult to get that chemistry and that homogeny there. And that's something these guys do really well. And it's something that only Wu-Tang has done for a group of their size, really. So, I mean, that's one thing that's, really kind of sets them apart. And on this album, I think they do kind of take it to another level. You do get the main guys, Kevin Abstract, Amir Van, Don McLennan, Matt Champion, and Merlin Wood are kind of the main guys that you see on most of these tracks, and then you kind of see a little bit of Joba here and there. You get Bareface in there a couple times, but you kick off the album with the song Gummy, which Kevin absolutely kills with his opening verse. It's a perfect way to start off the track, and it just jumps around that song, and it's a great intro. Again, Kevin is a standout, but throughout the album you don't get that Kevin is just kind of shining brighter than everybody else. It's really a team effort. It is a collective effort.
And I think that kind of stems from the fact that there are so many of them, and they have so many different influences. Like Joba's trying to bring in his JT, and he's also bringing in like he has that Andre 3000 verse on what's that song? The one where he's talking about I was in the van with my Walkman.
That's Sweet.
Yes, Sweet. On Sweet, he that's to me that verse is inspired very much by Andre 3000. But then he has on Saturation I, on Heat, he has that shouted aggro. So there's just the variety of styles that all of these different people bring to the table, and the multitude of influences that they bring makes it from song to song, even especially from album to album. I think there's a difference, but song to song you just get almost it, and you'd think that would lead to the album not being cohesive, but it just works. I can't explain it.
All
it
the
just
guys
works.
Bring in to each track their own kind of character. Kevin is kind of angsty background, teenager, raps about his sexuality a lot, which you get one of the best lines on the whole song, why you always rap about being gay, because not enough people rap and be gay.
Yeah.
Amir is also a lot about his adolescence, but more it's, the mistakes he's made in the past, and now look where I am now. Dom is one of the guys that has, his personality and the character he brings is kind of hard to find, but he's one of the more actual pure talent.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
maybe the most pure talented rapper. Matt Champion is as slick as they come. He brings a lot of charisma and energy to the songs. And Merlin Wood, if you're going to go back to the Wu-Tang, he's kind of the old dirty bastard of the group.
Oh, for sure.
Just brings the energy, the Caribbean accent he has, kind of the off-the-wall lyrics. So, and that's another thing that makes the album really well is all those kind of characters and charismas coming together. It just blends perfectly.
Yep. And then, oh my God, let's talk about some verses and some bars here. So I think my favorite verse on this record is in Sweet, actually, Kevin Abstract's verse.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal, talking about, as you mentioned, his sexuality and dealing with that and the struggle of not being accepted by his family and by the community at large. And another thing that I think, a theme that pops up a lot on this record and in a lot of their work is using substances and criminal activity and rapping, all these different things to kind of mask these struggles and these demons that they're dealing with. And I think that's another thing that ties into those music videos so well, where they're breaking down houses and robbing banks and doing these things because that's an escape for them from not being accepted for their sexuality, or Amir Van's mustache, or the different things that they deal with.
You're right. Do you want to talk about standout tracks?
Yeah, so for sure. I brought it up earlier. I guess we never actually got around to it.
Gummy, the opening track is great. It's one of the tracks that's got all 5 guys that give a great verse. The next song, Queer, I think is good. Jello is one of the more ish tracks for me on the album. Junkie, I think, is the best track on the album. I think it might be their best song overall, especially Kevin's verse. And Matt Champion gives a verse on here about respecting women, which is maybe not something you see a lot in hip-hop, but he does it great.
That verse is phenomenal.
Yeah, and after that, the song Fight is really good.
That's
it kind of has the bare bones intro, and it just momentum builds throughout it, and it's really great. And then I really like the last track, which is just Bareface, who's not a guy you hear very often in the group. It's just a real slow burner with that nice reverb guitar under it. I think it's a perfect way to kind of seal up the album. But yeah, there are no valleys in this. I mean, there's some peaks like Gummy and Junkie, but every track on here is outstanding. Front to back, it really is one of the more, great hip-hop albums of this year.
Oh, absolutely. Leah, you've been pretty quiet. Why don't you tell us some of your favorite tracks before me and Jay get back into it and leave you behind?
No, you're good. I mean, I like the passion here. I like, I don't know. I like all the songs on the album. There's none that I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to this. But the two that I really like the most are ones that you actually didn't bring up. But I really like Jesus, and I like Read the Backstory on that, and that was kind of cool. And then I like Teeth. Teeth was cool.
Teeth. Amir Van gives one of the best, just raw verses of the year on Teeth.
Absolutely. I actually think, as I was saying earlier, Fight is my favorite song on this project. That instrumental, I don't know what that is, that like deserty feel it has, and oh my God, who gonna be the reason why? Oh, God, and the hooks on this thing. Let's go on.
I think
the hooks on this record, not one of them falls flat.
I think that's where Brockhampton really excels, is
absolutely
hooks. And Kevin delivers a lot of the hooks. Matt delivers a really great hook on Queer.
Yes.
But I think Kevin is really, really gifted when it comes to the hooks.
Absolutely. So apparently that's all the time we have. Unfortunately, I feel like we could go on for a hot minute. This thing is phenomenal. So in closing, you want to rate it, scale of 1 to 10?
It's a strong 8, light 9. I would encourage everybody to listen to Sat 1 as well as All American Trash. And then Saturation 3 is coming out in December.
Oh, absolutely.
I cannot wait for that.
Yes. So these guys, they are sticking to that name, saturation. Yes. They are putting...
It fits the name. They're literally saturating the market with music.
All right, Leah, you want to throw your ranking, your power ranking?
Yeah, I would also say like solid 8.
Okay. I'm rocking a 9 on this one, absolutely. Where does it stand in the Brockhampton canon for you? How would you rate their...
I think Saturation 1 is their best so far. This is definitely better than All American Trash. Not to say All American Trash is a bad record, but
it's not trash.
This kind of sits in between those. I'm really excited to hear what Saturation 3 does. They've released one single from there already, Follow. And yeah, really looking forward to that one.
Oh, absolutely. Another great video for Follow, too. All right, well, that's all the time we have left, so...
When we come back, we got Biscuits and Gravy performing for us, and it's going to be quite the show.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jay.
No problem.
We'll see you later.
Hi, we're Biscuits and Gravy. This is a song off our new album 17 called Neon Lights. Neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. It's a damned old toxin, but the only concoction that helps me get over you. Well, I try and try all night long, but there ain't a damn thing I can do. So I go back to them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. Well, I'm back again with all my friends like Hank, Willie, and John. Talking about all the problems in the world and all the women that done us wrong. So I walk up to the jukebox and I drop a quarter in and I sing another sad, sad song. I felt so alone when I was sitting at home, but I finally found a place I belong. With them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. It's a damned old toxin, but the only concoction that helps me get over you. Well, I try all night long, but there ain't a damn thing I can do. So I go back to them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. Well, time after time I'll dial your number, you pick up and I lay it back down. I guess I wasn't ready to hear your voice, so now I'm heading back into town. I walk in the door, I sit on my stool, they've got a whiskey waiting for me. When I feel a little down or a little heartbroken, there's no place I'd rather be than with them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. It's a damned old toxin, but the only concoction that helps me get over you. Well, I try all night long, but there ain't a damn thing I can do. So I go back to them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof. It's a damn old toxic, but the only concoction that helps me get over you. Well, I try all night long, but there ain't a damn thing I can do. So I go back to them neon lights and no bar stools and a bottle of 8 proof.
All right, guys, we are back with Trevor and Colin of Biscuits and Gravy. We got a few questions for y'all, and then you're going to play some more songs for us. So let's dive right into this interview.
Awesome.
All right, so how long have y'all been making music together?
This is about 2013, right?
Yeah.
So about 4 years now, something like that.
And how'd y'all meet and get together, start jamming?
We've known each other since 3rd grade. We've been playing soccer together. And then we started playing music together when we were seniors in high school. And then we were here for our freshman year, and that's when Biscuits and Gravy started. So we've known each other for a while.
That's a good story. I like that. I always love when people like started making music together in like high school, and then especially when that music's still available and you can look back and kind of see how they've grown and developed.
Please don't.
Don't look back at our stuff.
Noted.
So what are some of your guys' individual music background and influences?
I grew up listening to country music, old country, Merle Haggard, George Jones, all those guys. And then, of course, the 90s, George Strait, Garth Brooks. And then,
I kind of was more of a rock guy myself, actually. I was into a lot of the bands you guys talk about, like Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, into a lot of the heavy metal stuff from the 70s and 80s. I didn't really get into country music until senior year of high school. So but I listen to a lot of different stuff. I have influences from many different genres, so.
Cool.
Sure. I think that's like the most important thing, right? Is like not pigeonholing yourself and kind of, because I mean, especially, you know, looking at hip hop, completely different genre, but they take, you know, alternative R&B, soul, all these other different genres and really make them their own.
Yeah, and especially with country nowadays, like you get artists on completely different subgenres too. It's not all one sound. You got country pop, country rock, a lot of different styles within country music too. So it is important to have different influences.
For sure. All right, you all ready for your second song?
Yeah.
All right, can you introduce?
Sure.
This next song is another one off our new album called Lost With You.
Hop on in with me, no, you don't need nothing. Just bring your pretty little self up here and slide up next to me. We'll follow this white line with no destination, driving till our words are gone, singing along to some old JC. And we turn the radio up and roll the windows down, and drive until there ain't nobody else around. Way back where the stars place the lights of this old town. And girl, I wanna get lost with you and never be found, never be found. We can pull off and find a spot anywhere you want to, then just lay back as the sun fades and the stars fill up the sky. I got a bottle of some cheap red wine, and I can drive the tailgate down, make a couple wishes, do a little kissing, then get back in the truck and drive. And we turn the radio up and roll the windows down, and drive until there ain't nobody else around. Way back where the stars place the lights of this old town. And girl, I wanna get lost with you and never be found, never be found. And we know that eventually we're gonna have to turn back, but run out of time now, so we better make it last. we turn the radio up and roll the windows down. Just put this truck on cruise control and get the hell out of this town. Just keep on driving till there ain't nobody around. And girl, I wanna get lost with you and never be found. And we turn the radio up and roll the windows down and drive until there ain't nobody else around. Stars place the lights of this whole town. And girl, I wanna get lost with you and never be found. I said, girl, I wanna get lost with you and never be found, never be found. So just hop on in with me. No, you don't need nothing. Just bring your pretty little self up here and slide up next to me.
Yeah, so you guys just released an album, right?
Yes.
All right, can you tell me about your inspiration and like the process of making it?
Well, it's called 17. So a couple of the songs are about like being younger and, you know, the first love in high school and stuff like that, and being 17 and young and wild. There's a song on there called 'Cause We're Young. So we're going to live out the words of those songs as long as we can. It's going to be weird when we're 45 years old. You can't really sing 'Cause We're Young anymore.
It's a lot about being young.
Yeah.
We have a lot of songs with that in our title, and 'Cause We're Young is kind of about us being in college and what we experience going out and hanging out with all our friends and just having a good time, you know.
You can always be young at heart. I don't think
Yeah.
there's here.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys in Blink 182 are still playing, so if they can do it, I mean,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure y'all can too. All right, so what's next on the agenda, guys?
What's the next one?
We're going to play Patiently Waiting. It's also off of our new album. This one fits right along with being young and in love back when Colin was 17, like the title of the record. So it's called Patiently Waiting. Never thought that I would fall so hard, so young at only 17. I always think about where we were when you first said that you loved me. And I remember laying in my car when you told me this was your first time. And I could feel the fire in my heart, and I could see the passion in your eyes. We fight, then we dance. We laugh and we cry every day until you said goodbye. I've tried so hard to move on since then, but there was always something missing inside. So I shout to the heavens, I look to the stars, hoping they'll pass a message to wherever you are, so that you know that I love you always and forever. Maybe one day, yeah, we could be together. And I know life sent you on a different path, but just know that I'll be patiently waiting for you when you get back. Time went by and the days seemed long, but I finally started moving on. And then one day that all changed when I was driving and I heard our song. So I tried singing the words with my new girl, but it felt so wrong. And yeah, you found someone new, and I did too, but I know this isn't where we belong. So I shout to the heavens, I look to the stars, hoping they'll pass a message to wherever you are, so that you know that I love you always and forever. Maybe one day, yeah, we could be together. And I know life sent you on a different path, but just know that I'll be patiently waiting for you when you get back.
saw you when you came back into town, and all those feelings came rushing back to me. We spent the weekend together, felt the fire again. Then Sunday came and you had to leave. So now I shout to the heavens, I look to the stars, hoping they'll pass a message to wherever you are, so that you know that I love you always and forever. Maybe one day, yeah, we could be together. And I know life sent you on a different path, but just know that I'll be patiently waiting for you when you get back.
All right, guys, we're back. All strings replaced.
Yep.
That was Patiently Waiting by Biscuits and Gravy. Now, next question is, where can we find your guys' music?
So the new album we just put out, 17, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music. Yep, you got a copy right there. We also have physical CDs for anyone who can find us playing around. So it's also for sale on iTunes for $3.99. So it's a pretty good deal. 7 songs for $3.99. So check us out.
Sure thing. And then as far as live performances?
We don't have too much set up right now because we're getting kind of busy with school right now.
Of course.
But we'll always have stuff in the future, and you can find that on our website and on our Facebook page, on Instagram. We have all those social media places. So, yeah.
All right.
We'll
Sure
keep you
thing.
updated.
So what does the future look like? Excuse me. What does the future look like for Biscuits and Gravy?
I would say just keep going, get as many gigs as we can. We play back home with a full band now, so we're trying to get some bigger venues that we can start playing. And
Sprint Center.
yeah, yeah, maybe someday. But then hopefully in the future, in a year, get back in the studio and hopefully record another album. Just keep it going.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Be sure to check out their album, guys. Check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes. And what are you guys playing for us next?
This next one is the title track. It's called 17. Just another one about being young and growing up at 17 years old.
Awesome.
Ready?
Yep.
Well, today I was thinking about the good old days and the man I was back then, and thinking that if I had the chance I'd do it all over again. My window's down, one hand on the wheel, and you in the shotgun seat. Low tank of gas on some old back road while we're cruising in a white Grand Prix. Not a single care in the world, we were living young, wild, and free. If I had the choice to go back in time, right there is where I'd be. At 17. Yeah, at 17. We were kissing on the bleachers on a Friday night under the lights of a hometown football game. Never really had the chance to cherish those moments, 'cause they went away just as fast as they came. Blue eyes and long brown hairs embedded in my memory. Take me back to the time when I was so in love with you and you were so in love with me. At 17. Yeah, at 17. Yeah, we were staying up all night, hanging around, having conversations how we would someday leave this town. Talking about our future, talking about our past. In the back of our minds, yeah, we knew this would never last, but still had some of my greatest memories. At 17. Yeah, at 17. conversations how we would someday leave this town. Talk about our future, talk about our past. In the back of our minds, yeah, we knew this would never last, but still that's some of my greatest memories. It's 17.